Tuesday to the Ungovernables, the Captain's Crew, the LFA family, McGroin Nation, coming to you live from the deep red state of Tennessee on rumble.com/LFA TV. Welcome to Ungoverned. It's a happy Tuesday, Schumer Shutdown Day. We'll get to that in a second if we get to it today. Lots to get to. Donald Trump live right now, giving some remarks to top military leaders. We do have it. We'll get right to it. I know everybody's going to want to see at least part of it. We may not stick with it the whole time this morning, but I am going to go right to it. Before we do that, I got to get through two things. Of course, you know, OFP Farms birthday month. Last day of the sale is today. 25% off, OFPfarms.com, OFPfarms.com, OFPfarms.com. They've shipped over 16,000 packages sharing their skin and pain relief magic across this beautiful country. They are America's trusted source for soap, lotion, pain relief, and lip balms, and they've received countless enthusiastic reviews from people like you. We love OFP Farms. Let everybody in the chat know how much you love OFP Farms, by the way. To celebrate for a limited time, the rest of today, they're offering 25% off of your entire purchase throughout September. Again, that ends today. 25% off. That sale will not continue tomorrow, so get it while the getting's good. Discover the remarkable products from OFP Farms. They are a pioneer in natural ingredients and celebrated for the skin-nurturing benefits of tallow and fresh goat milk. Whether you're in search of gentle skincare options or thoughtful gifts, these products seamlessly blend expert craftsmanship with strong values to elevate daily routine. Your daily routine gets better with OFP Farms. Take this opportunity to pick up premium products that support health and resonate with ethical choices for your entire family. OFP Farms takes pride in being a God-first, family-owned, patriotic company and is grateful to the thousands of incredible customers who have embraced their small farm values and supported their farm-to-family skincare solutions. OFPfarms.com. It's OFPfarms.com. Final day of the 25% off birthday sale for OFP Farms. You're not going to want to miss out. Who knows when they're going to be running a sale this good again. OFPfarms.com. The Outlaw Soap, right? The Outlaw Soap, 25% off, but only through the rest of today. Go to OFPfarms.com. Use the promo code Sean for 25% off. Next up, our friends at MyPatriotSupply.com. It is National Preparedness Month for the month of September. It's the perfect time to ask yourself some questions like, how much food do you have on hand for emergencies? How would you get clean water if the tap went dry? What would you do if a storm knocked out power for an entire week? If you're anything like me, there's some room for improvement on all of this. Now, our friends at My Patriot Supply are making disaster preparedness easier and more affordable than ever by giving you over $1,500 worth of emergency food and preparedness gear absolutely free. They just launched their Preparedness Month Mega Kit and includes a full year of emergency food, a water filtration system that can purify almost any water source, and a solar backup generator. You see right here on your screen, solar backup generator, and a whole lot more. Here's the best part. If you go to MyPatriotSupply.com/ungoverned, you can get 90 preparedness essentials totaling over $1,500 absolutely free. Just go to MyPatriotSupply.com/ungoverned for full details. That is MyPatriotSupply.com/ungoverned, MyPatriotSupply.com/ungoverned. They're making it easier than ever to get prepared for a crisis. This is their Preparedness Month Mega Kit, MyPatriotSupply.com/ungoverned. It's MyPatriotSupply.com/ungoverned. We're going to go live to Donald Trump's speech. He is delivering remarks to top military leaders right now in Quantico, Virginia. And we're going to go right to that right now. Here we go.
In fact, I went out to dinner with my crew. I haven't done that. In theory, I wouldn't do it. And I felt totally safe. And nobody's been attacked. Nobody's been hurt. Washington, D.C. went from our most unsafe city to just about our safest city in a period of a month. We had it under control in 12 days, but give us another 15, 16 days. It's perfect. And people other than politicians that look bad, they think, the Democrats run most of the cities that are in bad shape. We have many cities in great shape, too, by the way. I want you to know that.
You deserve the best. Performance, durability, affordability. Only one place does.
To San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles. They're very unsafe places, and we're going to straighten them out one by one. And this is going to be a major part for some of the people in this room. That's a war, too. It's a war from within. controlling the physical territory of our border is essential to national security. We can't let these people in. You know, we had no people enter in the last 4 months. Zero. Even I can't believe that. You know, we had millions coming in, pouring in. 25 million all told, and of those 25 million, many of them should never be in our country. They would take their worst people and their people from prisons and jail, and they'd put them in a caravan, and they'd walk up. CNN was interviewing one person. Oh, why are you coming? I want freedom. Good. Were you in jail? Yes. For what? Murder. I said, you're in for, you had to see this anchor, a young woman. She's like, I couldn't believe. She'll probably lose her job, but because the left doesn't want to hear that. But we're running it based on common sense and based on love of our country. But I want to salute every service member who has helped us carry out this critical mission. It's really a very important mission. And I told Pete, we should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard, but military. Because we're going into Chicago very soon. That's a big city with an incompetent governor, stupid governor, stupid. They threw him out of his family business. He was so stupid. I know the family. He becomes governor. He's got money. Not money that he made, but he ran for governor, he won, and now he criticizes us all the time. And last week they had 11 people murdered, 44 people shot. The week before that they had 5 people murdered, 28 people shot. Every weekend they lose 5, 6. If they lose 5, they're considering it a great week. They shouldn't lose any. You shouldn't lose any. This is civilization. And he's always up there saying, we're in very good shape. We don't need the military. No, they need the military desperately. How about Portland? Portland, Oregon, where it looks like a war zone. And I get a call from the liberal governor. Sir, please don't come in. We don't need you. I said, well, unless they're playing false tapes, this looked like World War II. Your place is burning down. I mean, you must be kidding. Sir, we have it under control. I said, you don't have it under control, Governor, but I'll check it, and I'll call you back. I called her back. I said, this place is a nightmare. Probably, it's certainly not the biggest, but it's one of the worst. It's brutal. They go after our ICE people, who are great patriots and tough job too, but they love it. They love it because they're cleaning up our country. And so you look at some of the things where they took over parts of Seattle. They actually took over a big percentage of Seattle. Think of that. You remember that. That was a while ago. And I sent in the troops, and they were gone. As soon as I sent them in, when we send in the troops, if you have a real leader that says you got to do what you have to do, I put that out the other day. You got to do what you got to do because we don't want our people hurt as they stand by. I was watching during Biden, they had troops standing up like this, brave, standing up at attention, the way I should stand all the time. And I'm like this, and people are standing, and their mouth is this far away from their mouth, and they're spitting at them, and they're screaming at them. And that soldier standing there, he wants to knock the hell out of the person, but he's not allowed to do anything. So they just stand there, and they get abused, and a woman was this far away from his face, and she starts spitting in his face, and he's not allowed to do anything. If it's okay with you, generals and admirals, I've taken that off. I say, they spit, we hit. Is that okay? I think so. They spit, it's a new thing. They spit, we hit. How about the cars where the cars are coming out? They get brand new cars, Border Patrol, ICE, beautiful, nice new cars. And they're driving along, and they have to go through a gauntlet of rocks being thrown at the car. So here's this beautiful brand new car. By the time it goes 100 yards, it's destroyed. These guys have pretty good arms, some of them. And they're throwing bricks at full force into the window and into the car. It looks like it's a war zone. And I said, never let that happen again. From now on, if that ever happens, and I say it here, you get out of that car and you can do whatever the hell you want to do. Because those people are you can die from that. Those bricks go through the windows. You can die. They'd like it to. They'd like it to go through the window. But this was a couple of months ago. They just kept driving, and bricks are hitting the car. And I said, why aren't they stopping? because they were under orders from the past administration, never stop. But that's different with us. We stop. And since I gave that order, we haven't had that problem. It's very interesting. It's amazing. It's just like in Venezuela. You've seen the boats going. We can't find any more boats. They're carrying drugs, massive. Every boat kills about 25,000 people. That's what they have. They had fentanyl mostly and a lot of other drugs. And we take them out, and we've taken out 4. And it's on air. Everybody gets to see it. Not that we like to do that, but every boat kills 25,000 on average. 20. Some people say more. You see these boats, they're stacked up with bags of white powder. That's mostly fentanyl and other drugs too. And now we have a problem. General Kane says, "Sir, there are no boats out there. Not even fishing boats. They don't want to go fishing." I don't blame them. There'll be no fishing today. But it's amazing what strength will do, because all we want to do is stop drugs from flowing into our country. It's destroying. We lost 300,000 people died last year. Everybody knows friends, many friends probably, that you lost a child, or adults too, but you lost a son or daughter because of what's coming into our border. And we're making it very hard. Oh, and we haven't even started yet. Last month I signed an executive order to provide training for quick reaction force that can help quell civil disturbances. This is going to be a big thing for the people in this room, because it's the enemy from within, and we have to handle it before it gets out of control. It won't get out of control. Once you're involved at all, they all joke. They say, "Oh, this is not good." You saw it in Washington. We had gangs of Tren de Aragua with 10, 12, 15 kids. And these military guys walk up to them, and they treat them with disrespect, and they just got pounded. They just got pounded. The gang just pounded. Then thrown into paddy wagons and taken back to their country. Some are so dangerous we don't want to even do that, because we don't want to. Some of stone cold murderers, we don't have the confidence. Even though they're not coming back very easily, we don't have the confidence. We put them in jails. But these service members are following in a great and storied military tradition, from protecting frontier communities to chasing outlaws and bandits in the Wild West. And our history is filled with military heroes who took on all enemies, foreign and domestic. You know that phrase very well. That's what the oath says, foreign and domestic. Well, we also have domestic. George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Grover Cleveland, George Bush, and others all use the armed forces to keep domestic order and peace. Many of our leaders used the military to keep peace. Now they like to say, "Oh, you're not allowed to use the military." And you know what the people say? The people in those cities where they're being raped and shot and beat up, you know what they say? "We love the military." You ever see where they interview the people on the street? I've never seen somebody say they don't, unless they're radical and paid off, because a lot of these insurrectionists are paid by, whether it's Soros or other people, but they're paid by the radical left. So today I want to thank every service member, from general to private, who has bravely helped us secure the nation's capital and make America safe for the American people. It's amazing. The whole world is watching. Everybody in the White House, they come up to me, young women, "Sir, thank you." I know immediately what they're thanking. They don't have to say it. They walk to work now to the White House. We haven't had a crime in Washington in so long, because we got the careers. We call them the careers. We got these lunatics out, and they'll never be any good. You know, I hate to tell this to the liberal media. You could spend time with them. You could do whatever you want. You could send them to the finest schools, which they couldn't get into anyway. Mentally, they couldn't get in. But no matter what you do, they'll never be good. They're bad. They're career criminals. I don't know. Maybe they were born that way. Some people don't like me to say that, but maybe they were. Certainly, some were. Together with the leaders here today, we're also restoring a needed focus on defeating threats in the Western Hemisphere. Throughout this region, cartel terrorists have been allowed to wage a relentless campaign of death and destruction on our country, all because we had weak leadership on top. And we did a great job with it first term, but this is something else what we're doing now. We're taking it to the next level, probably next level times 3. But we had COVID come up, and we had to take care of that. We did a great job with COVID. We had the therapeutics, it was just Regeneron, so many things we did for COVID. But we had to focus on that, and every other country in the world was being decimated by COVID. So we had to change gear a little bit to take care of that. But under our leadership, the military is now the knife's edge in combating this sinister enemy. We have to put the traffickers and cartels on notice, and we've done that. And we've put them, a lot of them, we've called them a terrorist organization, which is actually a big thing to do. Nobody's done it, but I've done it with a lot of them. It gives you a tremendous advantage. If you try to poison our people, we will blow you out of existence, because that's the only language they really understand. That's why you don't see any more boats on the ocean. You don't see any boats. Around Venezuela, there's nothing. As president, I will never hesitate to defend our people from threats of violence, from the horrible plague that's taking place from within. The Iran nuclear power, the Iran, all of the great power that we thought existed, we blew it out to kingdom. We took advantage of it, and we just really took advantage of it, and it was a beautiful thing to see, and that's what military power can achieve. That's why I chose Raising Cane. He's fantastic, by the way. I hope you all agree. If anybody disagrees, could I please have your hand? Who disappears that Raising Cane is no good? Just raise your hand. I don't see any hands raised. All right. That means you're okay. That means that he's okay now, but I saw his results. You know, he took out ISIS. I was told it was going to take 4 years. It took 4 weeks. I went to see him, and he took him out in 4 weeks, knocked him out, knocked him to hell. And I was told by military people it was going to take 4 to 5 years to do it. And I don't even know if we'll have it then, sir. These were the Washington generals. I call them the television generals. But Raising Cane did it in 4 weeks, took out 100% of the ISIS caliphate. As a result of these actions and many others since my inauguration, we're witnessing the triumphant return of peace through strength. We have great peace through strength. America is respected again as a country. We were not respected with Biden. They looked at him falling downstairs every day. Every day the guy's falling downstairs. He said, it's not our president. We can't have it. I'm very careful, you know, when I walk downstairs, like I'm on stairs, like these stairs, I walk very slowly. Nobody has to set a record. Just try not to fall, because it doesn't work out well. A few of our presidents have fallen, and it became a part of their legacy. We don't want that. You walk nice and easy. You don't have to set any record. Be cool. Be cool when you walk down, but don't pop down the stairs. So one thing with Obama, I had zero respect for him as a president, but he would bop down those stairs. I've never said, da-da-da-da-da-da, pop, pop, pop. He'd go down the stairs, wouldn't hold on. I said, it's great. I don't want to do it. I guess I could do it. But eventually, bad things are going to happen, and it only takes once. But he did a lousy job as president. A year ago, we were a dead country. We were dead. This country was going to hell. We were dead in every way, from immigration to military. We didn't have the weapons. We were given everything to Ukraine. We had nothing. And by the way, I have to tell you, now, as you know, I went over and I met with NATO, and NATO raised from 2 to 5, which everyone said 5% of GDP. Millions and now trillions of dollars are pouring in. They didn't pay the 2% because they know we were there to pay it. And now they paid the 5%. That's trillions of dollars. And we're not spending any money on that war, not 10 cents. We sell our equipment to NATO. NATO pays us for the equipment, and they give it to Ukraine or whoever they give it to. They can keep it, but we're not involved. We have no money going out. Biden gave $350 billion. Not sustainable. $350 billion. And we have a war that should have never started. But we're not doing that anymore. So I just want you to know we're selling equipment, Our people are buying equipment. They are buying the equipment at full price, a fair price. So I don't want to say we're making money because I don't want to be making money on a war. It's too many people dying. They're losing 7,000 soldiers a week. A lot of them are Russian soldiers, but between the two countries, mostly soldiers, by the way. Sometimes, in Kiev, they'll lob a missile in or some drones in, kill some people. But mostly it's soldiers. Russia and Ukraine are losing 7,000 souls. And, they're not American. They're not us. They're not you. We have a special obligation. But they're soldiers. They're young people. They leave their parents. They wave goodbye. And then 2 days later, they're blown up so unnecessarily. And so that's the primary reason I want to get it done. We got to get it done. It's crazy what's going on. That's the worst war that there's been since World War II. The number of soldiers that are being killed there is just crazy. From 5,000 to 7,000 soldiers die a week. Think of that. So I think we'll get that done. But that's turned out to be the toughest one. I'm so disappointed in President Putin. I thought he would get this thing over with. He should have had that war done in a week. And I said to him, you don't look good. You're 4 years fighting a war that should have taken a week. Are you a paper tiger? And it's a shame, but I think eventually we'll get that one done, just like in theory, I want to knock on wood, because you never know. It's like we're going to have the Middle East done, which is actually a much harder thing to do. I mean, thousands of years. But we have to get that war done. So now just think of it, we're a dead country. I was with the King of Saudi Arabia, a great guy. I was with the Emir of Qatar. I was with the great leadership of UAE. I was over there. We brought back $2 trillion and more. They ordered 200 planes, Boeings. They ordered so much, and they were great. But they all said essentially the same thing. They said, 1 year ago, you were a dead country, and now you're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're the hottest country in the world right now. The absolute hottest country in the world. There's nobody even close. Putin said that to me. We met in Alaska, had a good meeting. Then he went back and started sending drones into Kiev. I said, I thought we had a good...
I've been riding this trail a long time. I remember when agents, they didn't know their left hoof from their right. Some are too eager jumping in.
You know what? We're just going to cut away from it. That ad was timed perfectly. There we go. All right, we're going to cut away from that speech. Donald Trump was obviously a little low energy today. I wouldn't read too much into it, guys and gals. I wouldn't read too much into the low energy side of things. I'll give you a theory as to why I think he's that way. And I know people said, I saw another comment in the chat yesterday. A comment in the chat today that said yesterday when he was with Bibi Netanyahu that he sounded low energy again. These aren't rallies, right? It's a press conference, his prepared remarks. He's in front of the military. It's not going to be a rowdy setting. It's not going to be a high energy setting. I think it's time and place, right? And he's also 79 years old.
Get that man a Big Mac and a Diet Coke.
He's also the president. He's got a stressful job. He did sound a little tired. He sounded a little low energy. Normally I stay with the speeches for as long as I can, but look, it's not breaking news. This wasn't any new and pertinent information. So we'll move away from that. Maybe we'll bounce back to it a little bit later if we have to. But we got plenty to go to and get to here. Schumer shutdown day. YouTube is paying up Donald Trump. Gaza peace plan. We've got a ton. I want to jump into a word from our friends at Patriot Mobile. It's patriotmobile.com/FARASH. And then we'll jump into, yeah, by the way, I have got a very funny video of Nancy Pelosi. Oh. The teeth are coming back. There she is, Nancy. Yeah, we have to say Nancy. Okay. We've got a real fun video from Nancy Pelosi. It's going to be a wrist-rubbing good time. All right. Before we do that, Patriot Mobile. PatriotMobile.com/FARASH. Folks, I know there's many choices when it comes to who you choose for your cell phone service, and there are new ones popping up all the time. But here's the truth. There's only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American that believes that freedom is worth fighting for, and that is Patriot Mobile. Not only are they leading the way in the red economy, but Patriot Mobile also outgains the competition when it comes to technology. Patriot Mobile is one of the only carriers with access to all 3 major U.S. networks. That means exceptional nationwide coverage along with the ability to have multiple numbers on different networks on a single smartphone. This is a game changer. They also offer unlimited data plans, mobile hotspots, international roaming, internet backup, and so much more. Switching is easier than it's ever been. Activate in minutes from the comfort of your home. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Make the switch today to PatriotMobile.com/FARASH or call 972-PATRIOT and use the promo code FARISH for a free month of service. That is PatriotMobile.com/FARASH or 972-PATRIOT. Promo code FARISH for a free month of service. We are going to get to, you know what? Let's do this. Just to go into all of the speech that we were just watching. Those were Trump's remarks. I want to go to Pete Hegseth. He gave us a couple of clips from this morning. First, talking about woke generals. Take a look.
But in many ways, it's not their fault. It's not your fault. As foolish and reckless as the woke department was, those officers were following elected political leadership. An entire generation of generals and admirals were told that they must parrot the insane fallacy that, quote, our diversity is our strength. Of course, we know our unity is our strength. They had to put out dizzying DEI and LGBTQI plus statements. They were told females and males are the same thing, or that males who think they're females is totally normal. They were told that we need a green fleet and electric tanks. They were told to kick out Americans who refuse an emergency vaccine. They followed civilian policies set by foolish and reckless political leaders.
We don't need any more woke generals. Clean them out. Get them out of the military. And by the way, on the same lines there, he was talking about the woke generals. He's also talking about, the big people. Let's think about it, right? Should we do tired Trump? We have a... no, I'm just kidding. Look, I probably would have been a little low energy in a speech like that too, because you're not going to really feed off of the crowd too much. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, along with expressing his displeasure for the woke generals, he also expressed his displeasure for generals who are out of shape. Watch.
With physical fitness and appearance. If the Secretary of War can do regular, hard PT, so can every member of our joint force. Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not who we are. So whether you're an airborne ranger or a chairborne ranger, a brand new private or a 4-star general, you need to meet the height and weight standards and pass your PT test. And as the chairman said, yes, there is no PT test. But today, at my direction, every member of the joint force at every rank is required to take a PT test twice a year, as well as meet height and weight requirements twice a year, every year of service. Also today, at my direction, every warrior across our joint force is required to do PT every duty day. Should be common sense. I mean, most units do that already.
Very good. Okay. And by the way, as you can see, sometimes Fox News gets crappy audio too. Okay? That was bad.
A giant fly buzzer.
Sounded, I was like, whoa. It sounded like Nancy Pelosi got stuck. I told you we were going to get Nancy, right? That was it. I'm just kidding. That wasn't it. I have an actual Nancy. PT test, right? That's it. If you can't pass if you cannot pass your PT test, why are you in the military? How are you helping anybody? You can sit behind a desk. You still don't have to be fat and out of shape. Period. I love this. I love this initiative. It lines right up with make America healthy again, right? Yeah. So those were Hegseth's clips that I enjoyed from this morning. There's plenty more. It was hard to pull it, 15 minutes before the show started. However, we got those two. Bad audio from Fox, I know. Look, even they get bad audio sometimes. We experience that enough over here, right? So even they get bad audio sometimes. All right. Before we continue on, we're going to get to that Hamas peace deal, the YouTube settlement. Some comments from J.D. Vance. Today is the Schumer shutdown day. Some clips from Antifa in Portland because Oregon is suing Donald Trump over the National Guard deployment, which, Gavin Newsom tried to do, and he was smacked down in court. Don't be surprised if a district judge said Donald Trump can't deploy the National Guard. And then Trump wins on appeal. Don't be surprised when that happens. That's probably the way that's going to go. Oh, and by the way, I called it with Jimmy Kimmel. So we'll get to that, all of that in a second. Before we do it, a word from our friends over at goldencrestmetals.com/LFA.
Hey everybody, Jeremy Harrell here. Look, I want to talk to you a little bit about gold and silver. When I was a kid, I always wondered what Fort Knox must look like. And when I was a kid, I always envisioned that when you would walk into Fort Knox, you would see just gold everywhere, literally raining gold, kind of like what you see behind me right now. Unfortunately, as a grown-up, I don't have that kind of imagination anymore, and I don't even have that much trust that Fort Knox has the 5,000 tons of gold that we're supposed to have there. Meaning that decades ago, we went off the gold standard in this country, which took the value of our dollar down to just mere pennies. And since our federal government doesn't want to go back to a gold standard currency, then it's time to us to take matters into our own hands. Have you ever thought about buying gold and silver? Have you ever thought about taking portions of your IRA or your 401k or your nest egg or your savings and putting it into gold and silver, either all or a portion of it? Have you ever wanted to purchase silver like this in bullion or premium? I know I do. And I know I wanted to take matters back into my own hands, which is why I have worked with Golden Crest Metals to do that. GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA is going to be your go-to, absolutely transparent and trusted partner. Now, you can go to that website or you can call 888-308-4202. And what the good thing about this is they're going to guide you. They're going to talk to you. They're going to guide you. They're going to give you all the answers to your questions. And there's going to be no hidden fees. It's completely transparent. No hidden fees. No pressure, no surprise markups whatsoever. Clients get to see everything before they purchase. They've even agreed to lower the minimum investment to the LFA audience in order to make sure that everybody has access to this. Free IRA storage, free insured shipping, and a full range of precious metals from gold, silver, palladium, and platinum. And if it's easier for you to just maybe click a QR code, well, guess what? We've got that available for you too. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. Click this QR code on your screen and it'll take you right there. GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA. Again, GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA, or call 888-308-4202 today to reach these guys. They're going to be a great partner for you, just as they have been for me, and we absolutely recommend here at LFA TV. GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA.
GoldenCrestMetals.com/LFA. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Golden Crest, for being a part of the show. All right, we're going to get into some of the juicy news from yesterday, some from this morning, a little bit of breakdown of all of that. YouTube is settling up with Donald Trump for $24.5 million. A lot of money, I would say. It's not a lot of money to YouTube, right? It's not a lot of money to Google or Alphabet, whatever their parent company is, but it's a sizable amount of money for folks like you, folks like me. This is going to be apparently given to a charity. The charity is going to be using it to build the new ballroom at the White House. YouTube has agreed to reach a settlement. Settle! Right? Has agreed to reach a settlement that will see the tech company pay $24.5 million over the suspension of President Donald Trump's YouTube account. Trump brought a lawsuit against the company and its CEO in 2021 after Trump was suspended from the platform in the wake of January 6th. The filing stated that YouTube parent company Alphabet will pay $22 million to settle and resolve with plaintiff Donald J. Trump any and all disputes and claims arising out of or relating to the action which he has directed to be contributed on his behalf to the Trust for the National Mall, 501c3 tax-exempt entity dedicated to restoring, preserving, and elevating the National Mall to support the construction of the White House State Ballroom. $2.5 million will be paid to additional plaintiffs in the case: American Conservative Union, Andrew Baggiani, Austin Fletcher, Maurice Veronica, Jean Louise, Frank Valentine, Kelly Victory, and Naomi Wolf. This money will be distributed among them in accordance with the terms of the settlement agreements executed between defendants and those plaintiffs. So, obviously, when you settle a lawsuit, it doesn't usually doesn't. The official ruling doesn't come with any culpability or admission of wrongdoing. But this is in and of itself essentially YouTube saying, yeah, we effed up. We shouldn't have done that. You were going to win in court, so let's settle and let's cut our losses here. $24.5 million, $22 million going to Donald Trump, and he will be moving that money. That will be directed to that National Mall Trust to rebuild the State Ballroom. So thank you, Google. Thank you, YouTube. We're now going to have a brand new, big, beautiful State Ballroom in the White House because of you, because you decided to be jerks in the wake of January 6th and start suspending Donald Trump. And now you got to pay up for it. So, yeah, your actions have consequences. Maybe stop being so band happy. Let the people speak, even if you don't like it. And we won't have a problem. All right. Trump, Hamas, Israel, peace deal. This, I thought, now, while yesterday Donald Trump's speech was a little, again, subdued, a little, I would say, how should we say it? A little low energy, but I feel like that's a negative word, right? I feel like, saying it's low energy is negative. It was calm. It was not rowdy. It was mellow. Again, it's a peace plan with Israel and Hamas, and Hamas hasn't accepted it yet. But here is an excerpt, and we're going to go through all 20 points of this 20-point plan.
If accepted by Hamas, this proposal calls for the release of all remaining hostages immediately, but in no case more than 72 hours. So the hostages are coming back, and I hate even saying this from the standpoint, doesn't sound right, but it is so important to the parents. The bodies of the young men, I believe in almost all cases, the young men are coming back immediately. I met with parents. The parents felt as strongly about getting the body of their dead boy back as they did as though the boy were alive and well. It's so important to them. And it means the immediate end to the war itself, not just Gaza. It's the war itself. Under the plan, Arab and Muslim countries have committed, and in writing in many cases, but I actually would take their word for it. The people I mentioned, I'd take their word for it. To demilitarize Gaza, and that's quickly. Decommission the military capabilities of Hamas and all other terror organizations. Do that immediately.
All right, so that was an excerpt from Trump's speech yesterday about the Hamas peace deal. 20-point plan. Hamas is yet to agree. It sounds like they're buying themselves some time, as they always do. I am of the school of thought of the mindset that there is no negotiating with these people, and that Donald Trump should say to Bibi, "Do whatever you want." Right? That's what I would say. I know that the political implications, because of asshats on the internet, they want to say that Israel is doing everything wrong and it's the Jews and all this. Right? We know all those people, right? Chewbacca. I love Jason King for that, and I will forever, and we have the picture of it too. These people are the worst people in the world, and have caused there to be a problem over in that war. I think if you sign an agreement with these terrorists, as they have in the past, just remember, there have been several times where, we're getting the hostages back, and then you get like 6 And then it goes back into a bad situation. Then Israel moves in, and Trump sends a message on Truth Social, and then we get a hostage or two released, and then it stops. And then Israel moves in, and somebody flips out, and Greta Thunberg fakes her boat getting hit by a drone, and then and then we get all sorts of, and then Hamas goes, whoa, we'll release them, and then you get another hostage, and it's just like it's been the same cycle for the last couple of years. It's almost been 2 years. Enough. Right? And I know Trump said yesterday that if they don't agree to this, Israel will finish the job. And Bibi said the same thing. Israel will finish the job. Well, then please finish the damn job. And stop hinting at finishing the job. Because I'm getting to the point where this war is starting to make me feel like the Ukraine-Russia war. I'm just done with it. Whatever happens, happens. I'm dead serious at this point in Israel and Gaza. And obviously I'm rooting heavily for Israel. I don't want Hamas to succeed. And they won't succeed. But everyone is putting Israel's actions under a microscope. It's a genocide. It's not a genocide. It's a war. It's a war that was started by a terror group. And now Israel is trying to eradicate said terror group. Okay? It's a war. It's not a genocide. It's a war. Hamas is stealing the food. Hamas is starving its people, not Israel, okay? I want everyone to be, and they're not perfect. I'm not saying the Israeli government is perfect. I'm not saying every decision they've made has been perfect in this war. I'm not saying that every airstrike they've made has been perfect in this war. I'm not saying there weren't civilian casualties at the hands of Israeli bombs in this war, but that is the nature of war. It sucks, and that's why we want to avoid it. But I'm done with, if they don't listen, then we're going to have a problem. If they don't listen, it's got to be done. Let Israel go in and do what they got to do. I am so tired of hearing about Israel and Gaza. Tired of it. It's relevant. I get it. It's, in a way, interesting. But it's gone on for too long. Wrap it up. Get it done. Either Hamas agrees to this 20-point plan or Hamas ceases to exist. Period. Not even like they go to another country and they do that. No, they're all dead. That's it. All right? Here's the 20-point plan. Gaza will be a de-radicalized terror-free zone that does not pose a threat to its neighbors. Number 2, Gaza will be redeveloped for the benefit of the people of Gaza who have suffered more than enough. 3, if both sides agree to this proposal, the war will immediately end. Israeli forces will withdraw to the agreed-upon line to prepare for a hostage release. During this time, all military operations, including aerial and artillery bombardment, will be suspended, and battle lines will remain frozen until conditions are met for the complete staged withdrawal. Number 4, within 72 hours of Israel publicly accepting this agreement, all hostages, alive and deceased, will be returned. 72-hour deadline. What do you think the chances are that Hamas actually agrees to this? Number 5, once all hostages are released, Israel will release the 250 life sentence prisoners plus 1,700 Gazans who were detained after October 7th, including all women and children detained in that context. For every Israeli hostage whose remains are released, Israel will release the remains of 15 deceased Gazans. Remember, Israel's already accepted this. Once all hostages are returned, Hamas members who commit peaceful coexistence and to decommission their weapons will be given amnesty. That's big for Israel to have been given that, to accept that. Members of Hamas who wish to leave Gaza will be provided safe passage to receiving countries. Number 7, upon acceptance of this agreement, full aid will be immediately sent into the Gaza Strip. At a minimum, I hope we're not paying for it, aid quantities will be consistent with what was included in the January 19th, 2025 agreement regarding humanitarian aid, including rehabilitation of infrastructure, water, electricity, sewage, rehab of hospitals and bakeries, and entry of necessary equipment to remove rubble and open roads. All right. I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to be paying for a lot of that, and that's going to bother the hell out of me, and you're going to hear nothing from Tucker Carlson and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Candace Owens, who doesn't like sending money to Israel, but they will have no problem, watch, they'll have no problem sending money to Gaza. Watch. You'll see. You'll see. Number 8, entry of distribution and aid in the Gaza Strip will proceed without interference from the two parties through the United Nations, great, and its agencies and the Red Crescent. in addition to other international institutions not associated in any manner with either party. Number 9, Gaza will be governed under the temporary transitional governance of a technocratic, apolitical Palestinian committee responsible for delivering the day-to-day running of public services and municipalities for the people in Gaza. Number 10, a Trump economic development plan to rebuild and energize Gaza will be created by convening a panel of experts who have helped birth some of the thriving modern miracle cities in the Middle East. 11, special economic zone will be established with the preferred tariff and access rates to be negotiated with participating countries. 12, nobody will be forced to leave Gaza, and those who wish to leave will be free to do so and free to return. We will encourage people to stay and offer them the opportunity to build a better Gaza. 13, Hamas and other factions agree to not have any role in the governance of Gaza directly, indirectly, or in any form. Number 14, a guarantee will be provided by regional partners to ensure that Hamas and factions comply with their obligations and that new Gaza poses no threat to its neighbors or its people. That's very important. 15, the U.S. will work with Arab and international partners to develop a temporary international stabilization force, ISF, to immediately deploy in Gaza. The ISF will train and provide support to vetted Palestinian police forces in Gaza and will consult with Jordan and Egypt, who have extensive experience in this field. 16, Israel will not occupy or annex Gaza. As the ISF establishes control and stability, the Israel Defense Force, IDF, will withdraw based on standards, milestones, and timeframes linked to demilitarization that will be agreed upon between the IDF, the ISF, the guarantors, and the United States, with the objective of a secure Gaza that no longer poses a threat to Israel, Egypt, or its citizens. 17, in the event Hamas delays or rejects this proposal, the above, including the scaled-up aid operation, will proceed in the terror-free areas handed over from the IDF to the ISF. 18, an interfaith dialogue process will be established based on the values of tolerance and peaceful coexistence to try and change mindsets and narratives of Palestinians and Israelis by emphasizing the belief that can be derived from peace. 19, while Gaza redeployment advances and while the PA reform program, Palestinian Authority Reform Program, is faithfully carried out, the conditions may finally be in place for a credible pathway to Palestinian self-determination and statehood, which we recognize as the aspiration of the Palestinian people. So this is not the guarantee of a two-state solution here. This is, essentially saying you may get a state. Hopefully it's not in Gaza. Number 20, the United States will establish a dialogue between Israel and the Palestinians to agree on a political horizon for peaceful and prosperous coexistence. I do not think Hamas is going to agree to that. And if they don't, I don't want to see any more warnings. I don't want to see any more negotiations. I want to see Hamas completely and totally wiped out. Because there is no negotiating with these people. Ever. Let's see what happens. All right. Quick break, and then I want to get to... actually, let me give you this. This is Donald Trump. He's saying he's going to be the head of the Board of Peace. More from yesterday.
To ensure the success of this effort, my plan calls for the creation of a new international oversight body, the Board of Peace, we call it, the Board of Peace. Sort of a beautiful name, the Board of Peace, which will be headed, not at my request, believe me, I'm very busy, but we have to make sure this works. The leaders of the Arab world and Israel and everybody involved asked me to do this, so it would be headed by a gentleman known as President Donald J. Trump of the United States. That's what I want, is some extra work to do, but it's so important that I'm willing to do it, and we'll do it right, and we're going to put leaders from other countries on, and leaders that are very distinguished leaders, and we'll have a board, and one of the people that wants to be on the board is the UK former Prime Minister, Tony Blair, good man, very good man, and some others, and they'll be named over the next few days, and it'll be quite the board. Working, everybody wants to be on it now. I don't know if that had anything to do. They named me and everybody else wanted to be on it. I guess they figure, well, he's a soft touch. He'll be easy to deal with.
There's Trump talking about the new board of peace, and that's another task he's going to have. And I saw a comment from Wanda in the chat, which I think is accurate and astute. Trump is proving to the naysayers he's doing all that's possible to fix it, puts the ball back in Hamas's court, 100%. And if Hamas decides that they're going to fumble that ball, then they should be wiped out. I'm just done. I'm so done with Russia, Ukraine, with Israel, Gaza. Like, you guys want to fight? Fight. I don't want anything to do with any of it anymore. We're trying to help in Ukraine and Russia. Putin's doing something. Ukraine's doing something. NATO's doing whatever. Poland wants to build a drone wall, whatever they want to do. Okay? We're in Israel and Gaza. Israel's going in, then they're not going in. Hamas is releasing hostages, and they're not releasing hostages. Enough. Just, you know what? And if I was Trump, I'd say, hey, all right, guys, fight it out. I tried. I got bigger things to worry about here in the United States. That's what I would have said. All right. Quick break to talk about our friends over at Silent, slnt.com, slnt.com/Sean, SHAWN. Check it out for 15% off at checkout right now. Let's face it, your phone is a tracking device. You know that, right? Your phone is a tracking device. Government agencies, big tech, corporate data brokers, even cyber criminals, they all want a piece of your data. They all want a piece of it. They're all fighting for a piece of your digital footprint, and they're not asking. They just go ahead and take it. That is why Silent exists. Silent makes Faraday gear that blocks all wireless signals. Cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, RFID, and near-field communications. You know what no signal means? It means no tracking. It means no remote access. It means no breadcrumbs, right? Hansel and Gretel, I love to leave breadcrumbs. No breadcrumbs when it comes to Silent. This is the same technology that is trusted by special operations teams worldwide, used to block signals, avoid surveillance, and secure communications wherever the mission leads. And right now it is available to you to protect your family, protect your freedom, and protect your digital footprint. Just drop your phone in a Silent Faraday sleeve, and it's off the grid, completely silent, invisible to the outside world. From their backpacks to sleeves to crossbody, Silent's patented technology gives you total control of your privacy. Just visit SLNT Sierra Lima November Tango. .com/Sean to get 15% off and free shipping on qualifying orders. That's silent, slnt.com/Sean. Protect your rights, secure your data, and stay a step ahead. Silence the chaos today. Go silent today. slnt.com/Sierra Hotel Alpha Whiskey November. Okay. Oregon is suing Donald Trump over the National Guard. Donald Trump is well within his right to send the National Guard to Oregon if, again, all they're doing is protecting federal buildings. As you can see, this is Antifa in Portland. And that building that you saw right there was a federal building. Obviously, if Antifa is surrounding and storming and vandalizing a federal building, regular forces in the area cannot secure it adequately. Donald Trump, under Title 10, has the authority to deploy the National Guard, to federalize the National Guard and deploy it to protect federal buildings, federal property, and federal assets. This has already been debated in court. Oregon wants to sue. They're going to lose. We'd gone through this with Los Angeles back in June. Remember this? Back in June and July with the LA riots, etc. And we went through all this, posse comitatus and Title 10 and what they can and can't do. It's a losing case for Oregon. Donald Trump is well within his right to do it. Here is Nancy Pelosi, the funny video I told you about.
Confidence that this is actually a real negotiation that is going to happen at the White House later today?
She looks rough.
I have no idea. Well, going into it, let's review what the president has said. What we're talking about is meeting the health care needs of the American people, little babies, moms with breast cancer, dads with a stroke, and all of that. The president has said, I hear what they're saying. It's all unserious and ridiculous. In fact, I've listened to their and I tell them to go themselves.
Oh my gosh! That's not being very ladylike. I said this. That's profane. You know what we're gonna have to do? We're gonna have to wash Nancy's mouth out with some OFP Farm soap. She doesn't want the soap.
She doesn't want that.
She doesn't want it. That was nasty language from Nancy Pelosi. I tell them to go f themselves. All right. I'm going to play one clip that I brought in I did this last week. Remember when I talked about Jimmy Kimmel and his ratings? I said that they're not really real, right? That they're fake ratings. Remember this clip? Jimmy Kimmel's ratings, they may go up in the short term, but they're going to crash in the long term. He's just like Kamala Harris, right? There was all that fake energy around Kamala Harris in the campaign. Oh, she's a new way forward, a fresh face. But after a certain amount of time, people said, oh, yeah, she's still Kamala Harris. Same thing's going to happen to Jimmy Kimmel. They're going to realize, oh, yeah, he's still Jimmy Kimmel. He's still not funny. This is still not entertaining, and they're going to turn it off. And we have the evidence that actually is happening to Kamala Harris right now amid this book tour. Watch this from Harry Anton on CNN.
I would just say that if you want a messenger to go against Donald Trump, you can do far better as Democrats than Kamala Harris. What are we talking about here? Well, let's take a look at her net favorable ratings nationwide. Back in October of 2024, she was at minus 5 points. Not exactly great, but pretty close to the zero mark, right? Pretty close to even. But now, down under she goes. She's at minus 13 points. That's an 8-point drop since the general election among the overall electorate. She is not well liked at this particular point. The American people, they don't want this. They don't want her. And get this, she's 37 points underwater with independents. If you can't win independents, you can't win the election. And the bottom line is, with those in the center of the electorate, those who are the most up for grabs, she is way, way, way underwater. She is definitely swimming with the fishes.
Kamala Harris is still Kamala Harris, in short. Everyone who used to not like her, again, doesn't like her, okay? They gave her a little bit of a pass. They gave her a little grace during the election. She's all we got. They're like, all right, Dennis Green, they are who we thought. The Bears are who we thought they were, right? Kamala Harris is who we thought she was. She's not smart. She's a terrible campaigner. She is condescending in front of any audience that she, stands up in front of and speaks to. She's just not likable, okay? And the same will be applied to Jimmy Kimmel. Because, let's face it, Kamala hasn't changed. Kimmel hasn't changed. So amid all this, this whole, I'll say it, psyop of Jimmy Kimmel, record ratings. First of all, a lot of the people that were watching, I think, were conservatives looking for the apology and seeing what he would say. Number two, this is a protest. We'll show Donald Trump by watching Jimmy Kimmel. Okay, you're not going to continue watching him, just like you're not going to continue supporting Kamala Harris, because both people are unlikable and bad at their jobs. There you go. Both people unlikable, bad at their jobs, and Jimmy Kimmel's ratings have plunged. It only took a couple of days. Thank you so much for watching and listening, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate your time this morning. We went with Trump the first half hour. A little bit of news is the last hour. Jeremy Harrell for the next 3 hours. We'll have all the breaking news of the day coming up live here on LFA TV, rumble.com/LFA TV. That is home base. That is the Cool Kids table. Head over there, hit the like button. Appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, rumble.com/LFA TV. Working on a really cool guest towards the end of the week that you're going to love. It's going to be a fun show. Have a great rest of your day. Jeremy Harrell up next. In the words of John Fetterman, good night, everybody. Bang gavel. And of course, thank you for your attention to this matter.